Dania now.
It's Grant Daniel.
The gold logie this year. Oh my God, it's Grant Dania.
And our mum, Shezzy Dania. She's really crazy.
It's all true.
It's All True, the podcast with Grant and Shezzy Denya.
And George here taking over, doing the opener, doing the intro for what was formerly known as the Sunday Sesh. We are now going to call it George's Quickie or the Quickie. What are we settling on, guys?
Yeah, it's all true Quickie.
It's all two.
It's all too Quickie.
It's all three? I don't know.
It's a quickie.
Yeah, just a Quickie.
Grant came up with a topic last night for the quickie.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. That's why I was doing this motion to you before we got on. Okay, this is going well.
How did I come up with the topic?
Grant is quite passionate, and you might not realise, but he's very passionate about the pyramids and how they were created, because it's apparently out of this world.
I'm not passionate about it, but I'm intrigued as anybody would be. I think George is into conspiracies as well. I don't know if he has a view on what he thinks the pyramids are or were or for.
Yeah, look, I don't look too much into the pyramids, but I do often wonder, like, the structure of them, like how they built it and how they got to the point of where they are. Like, that's pretty high tech for that time.
Wow, it's incredible. You know, some of those stones are worth like 70 tons and more. And they're like, 20 feet in the air. And they were dragged from a quarry that was like 80 miles away. So how on earth did they do that without machineries, without engines, without cranes, without trucks?
Slaves?
They're slaves, but can slaves pull a 70-ton or more or bigger? How do you cut that out of the ground? And
how many years did it take to make a pyramid?
Yeah, I think it took a long time.
So what do you think it was telekinesis?
It was either a form of technology that we have either forgotten about or lost, or there was there was an intervention from other beings from somewhere else. Or, there was a form of manipulation of energy in terms of like using vibration and frequency to basically make something levitate.
But isn't there similar patterns and something or other, or structures, or Machu Picchu or something that relates?
There's pyramids that line up in other geological sites, line up with other longitudes and latitudes, which kind of match and face the same direction as the ones in Egypt. Right? They face exactly the same degree, yet they were on different continents, like some in South America.
Like they weren't conversing saying we're going to put them exactly at this kind of
not a lot of
space.
email going on around then back in those days to go, hey George, when you put your pyramids up, are you going to face like 16 degrees due north, or and then like they didn't really have that form ability to communicate, so why are they so similar, facing the same direction on the same longitude or latitude?
And what do you think the conspiracy is?
I think they were some form of power generator. I think they were some form of, they were able to create power out of this pyramid somehow, whether it be celestially or whether there's something in the construction or whether using other entities from other planets, because let's be honest, there's billions of planets, billions of galaxies. So billions of planets in a galaxy, and there's billions of galaxies. So there's got to be some other speck of dust out there like us that's got some beings on it. There just has to be, right?
I can't get my head around that.
So they've come here and they've gone, oh yeah, I'll bloody help you build those. We're a few million years in front of your human development, so here's a bit of technology to make a few rocks perfectly shaped for you.
So, do you reckon Scotty Cam was that guy a few years in front that came and was like, this is how you make a pyramid, guys, tools down?
He came in with these steel cap boots and his fluoro vest on with a chisel and said, boys, this is how you do it. Because they still don't know what the pyramids are for. And I don't know if I'm right here, but I think it is. I don't think that they've never really found like old tombs in the pyramids, and everyone thinks that that's the case. That they were the creation.
I thought they were like a cemetery
for Tutankhamun. No, they weren't. They've been found in other places around Egypt, but not actually in the pyramids.
So what's in the pyramids?
Well, there's some
Food? Didn't they store food?
What's it? What?
Food. Didn't they store food in there maybe at some point?
Feels like a reasonably elaborate cupboard. That's a lot of. I think you have to go and raid other countries in Africa to go get enough people to make that cupboard to put food in it. So we don't know. Scientists still don't know what the hell they were for. So there's only theories.
Are there pictures of
Maybe it's some form of power source that helps those other being or spaceships return to where they're from. I don't know. I don't know.
Is there like hieroglyphics or paintings with aliens, or is that just on
there is. So
Indiana Jones?
There are hieroglyphics in Egypt on parts of the pyramids and other parts around the world that depict aliens in the hieroglyphics.
No.
And vehicles. Yeah.
As in like space vehicles?
Yeah. Yeah, like cars and helicopters and stuff. Yeah. You can Google it. It comes up very quickly.
Pyramids are obviously still erect these days too, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They're pretty intact.
So they're tougher and stronger structures than some of the apartment buildings built in Sydney.
By a fair margin. Right. So I find it all fascinating. The fact that we don't know the answer is the most exciting thing. I think we've all just thought that they were tombs, but that's definitely not a concrete theory, no, at all. And in fact, it's looking more and more less likely the more people investigate. So whether that was part of a power grid, whether those pyramids could actually connect and combine to either send energy or power or messages or something, or whether we don't really know. Like there is a belief you can pull power and energy out of the atmosphere, right? The atmosphere is a generator of power. We don't use that in modern life because we've gone to a system where we pull it out of the ground in the form of oil or coal.
And we've killed it.
But you can actually pull energy out of just the air. And there is a theory that early churches were actually big power generators as well. The domes and the spires on the top, and it's like using very special ancient geometry, which is again a technology and skill that we've sort of lost, that pulls energy from the atmosphere and you can electrify things with it. And I think that's the reason why people feel good when they go in churches, because they're energized. A lot of the atoms and energy is being pulled from the universe through the domes and the spires and the carefully crafted geometry of those buildings, and it sort of gives an energy, like a healing energy. That's the other theory, that that's what the pyramids do, that they were places of incredible healing power because it pulled.
So why is it such a, it's like the $1 million question for every conspiracy, but why is it such a secret? Like, why are they saying, oh, this is where tombs were and this is where they stored food or whatever? Like, why? We
still don't know. I think that's what the Holy Grail is. I think when people talk about the search for the Holy Grail is what really happened and who is really responsible. And I think that is buried very deep. Yeah, the Da Vinci Code is very buried deep in the Vatican, in a vault. And I think the people who run the world today don't want you to know that because they've got the system set up perfectly for them to benefit.
Imagine having a secret like that.
Because I think the moment whatever truth there is comes out, everything else crumbles. Everything else, all our systems are predicated on a couple of core religions, and our entire system is based on the story that we are told on where we are from and how we came to be. If that's not true, everything falls apart.
Yeah, there's much more to it. I love that this topic is probably beyond a quickie.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Yes.
I am trying
How do you resolve the creation of us?
I'm trying to line up the UFO Queensland Research Department for
This is cool.
For a Chat One podcast.
So what's happened is and we can discuss this later, is that there is some people in Queensland who own farms who have had their cattle mutilated in the middle of absolutely nowhere. Not cows just on the side of the road where a couple of hooligans have gone past and knocked over a couple of cows, but surgically had organs removed, bloodless, just absolute precision. And they're like, so they believe that there are UFO. Now, this is something that's also been going on since the 20s. And probably even further back, stories of UFOs coming down and doing something with animals. And so there's people in Queensland now that have said that it's been going on for 20 years on their property. So
they might be near George. We might be able to send him out.
Send you over there as a roving reporter.
Yeah, it's funny though. The dumpling makers next door, they tell the exact same story. The ones that put ice in their dumplings. So them. Are they the corporation we're reaching out to?
They're seeing gremlins and they're having all sorts of paranoid episodes.
I'm so interested. The only thing is I can't grasp that there is millions of other galaxies. That's just so...
That's hard to grasp.
Yeah.
All right, so think about it this way. So is there another more advanced life form out there, right? You have to think, look how far we've come in 50 years. 50 years in technology, 50 years in medical excellence and healthcare. Think about maybe there's another planet with other human beings. Imagine they started, say, 5,000 years before us, or 50,000 years before us, or 1,000,000 years before us. Imagine how advanced they are. So the Earth is 4 billion years old, right? So imagine there's another planet somewhere where life started a little bit earlier. So imagine how advanced another civilization be if they just had a couple of 100,000 years on us. It'd be crazy, and it's easily conceived. Think how far we've come in iPhones, just in what are we now? 13 generations of iPhone.
Still can't work out iCloud.
Exactly. Maybe
I'm still hooked up to yours, which gets a bit problematic from time to time.
Maybe that's what the first pyramid was, the first iCloud. It was just where everything gets stored in the ether and the pyramid just shoots it up and it gets stored up there.
That's it. And that's the end of the Quickie.
Wow. We solved it.
The end.
The end.
I could talk about this shit forever.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
We'll get a longy podcast for you.
Bye.
See ya.
It's All True, the podcast with Grant and Shezzy Denya.
Bye bye.